and it's written in the Observer that you're starting to get big-time babyface reactions. Was that a surprise to you that the audience had taken to you the way they had as a babyface character?
We already talked about the Detroit incident, right?
Yes.
Where I was getting I'm not saying it happened often, but on that night in Detroit, it was a Cactus Jack crowd, and Sting was in the match.
Yes.
And I realized that's not what they wanted.
Did anybody tell you that in the match or when you come in the curtain? Or you just knew this ain't good?
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. They call him the icon for a reason. I'm not trying to compare mine to his. But Sting knew that his character was getting a little flat. And that's why when he came back, I remember him telling me about the idea he had, like just to go away for a while and come back with a different look, which is what he ended up doing. And now it would seem awfully strange to have Sting at an autograph appearance with the neon paint. But I think he'd been the top guy for so long that people were looking for something different. And I'm not saying I could have been that top guy, but I don't think it was good for my long-term employment that reaction was so strong.
I know we didn't set off to have this type of conversation, but I was sort of picking up the vibe there. Do you not see yourself at Sting's level when you think back over your career? Yes, now.
No, I don't. And I think
Why not?
Well, I think you can look at what people pay Sting for an autograph appearance as opposed to...
that's because you want to keep your stuff affordable for fans. He gets a bit... I'm the promoter. I've booked these guys before. He has a flat fee. You do a different deal oftentimes, and you want it to be affordable for fans. And he demands a premium to put the paint on. It's a different function.
No, I don't consider my career to be on the same level as Sting.
More people watched you when you were on top than Sting when he was on top.
Look, we can open up the phone lines to this. There's no way.
We're going to run a poll.
All right, let's run a poll. I'll lose. It will be a crushing defeat, and rightfully so.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying in terms of who had more longevity. Clearly, Sting wins that. He's still going.
Right.
But as far as at their height, like WCW at their height was never as hot as you guys were, and you're there running around with the title and raising the eyebrow with The Rock and all that stuff with Stone Cold, and that was not Sting's bag.
Well, let me tell you somebody whose bag it indeed is, Daddy. Look, if people want to take up for me, they can, but I don't think... I thank you, Conrad. I appreciate it. But no, I don't think I was even close. I think I brought things to the table that Sting did not.
Sure.
But as far as being that marketable go-to face of the company, yeah, that was Sting. And if Sting had wanted to go to WWE in his prime, he would have crushed it and been the top guy there too. I'm pretty confident. Sting was a guy who, and I wrote about this in my book where I said, Clint Eastwood's catchphrase in Magnum Force, the second of the Dirty Harry movies, was "a man's got to know his limitations." And I said, I made a Hall of Fame career out of that. Sting realized his strengths and weaknesses. He went up to me in '91 and said, look, you lead. I'm good at adding things.
Right.
So I don't think Sting would have said that to somebody he didn't respect and trust. But after we had a handful of matches, he felt confident that I could tell that story. And it takes, I'm not trying to liken this to head injuries and admitting you have an injury being the mark of a tougher guy than a guy who pretends he isn't hurt to begin with. So I think Sting had incredible success, partially by understanding his limitations, understanding that wasn't his strength. I'm going to work with guys whose visions I trust, and I will add things to them to make them better. And that was always my experience with Sting. But yeah, in the Foley versus Sting contest, there's a
You win.
No, not even close.
Well,
but we can open it up to debate if you want.
We'll agree to disagree.